One of the things we were talking about, Max got a lot of issues, and I think a lot of this stems back from the breeder that you guys got him from, and the critical socialization period. So there's a technique called counterconditioning, and one of the situations that Mac is very not comfortable in is when there are little kids around. See how soft his mouth is. That's pretty good. So what I have is I have the Tricky Trainer liver soft chewable treat here that I use with most of my clients, and I'm holding it and letting him nibble a little piece of it off. There's another piece. All right, so this is important because we want him to be able to get used to doing this because we're going to use this technique later on. So basically, see how I can kind of change his orientation? Mm-hmm. I can have him looking wherever I want just by simply putting the treat in between it. So we're going to talk about counterconditioning. So counterconditioning is basically exposing the dog to something that it is reactive or responsive to in a controlled situation, in a lower level stimulus, where we can control the scenario and help the dog practice each individual element until it gets comfortable. Then we move to the next element, and then we gradually make it more and more intense until the dog is right up in front of whatever the stimulus is and no longer fearful of it. So because Mac is fearful of children, and we have 2 young children that are going to be arriving here pretty quickly, one of the things that I would suggest you do is find a playground, a place where there's going to be little kids. And you want to find the right distance. Now the distance, you have 2 litmus tests. How close can we get the dog to it before he reacts? If the dog won't take the treat or won't sit down while he's looking at the stimulus, you're too close. So basically find a playground where there's a lot of kids, and then that's adjoined to a park. So you can kind of back away, have them on a leash, and keep on start out at maybe 50 yards away, have them looking at it when there are kids there, and pull out one of these treats and try to get him to sit and look at the swing sets with the kids playing. If you can do it there, then take a couple steps forward, repeat that process. When you get to the point where when you put the treat up, he's looking around it, or you can barely get him to sit, don't push him to sit, but he won't sit on command. Then you found your butter zone. You want to back up a couple steps and get him into a sit, and then give him the treat. Okay, so that's once we've identified the distance, the starting distance, now we're ready to do the counter conditioning. So I'm going to cover that in the next video.